Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday morning. Howdy. Alright, folks. We've got plenty of stuff to go over. Just give me one moment here. Hold on, folks. Hey, Increasingly Phil, how's it going? Silver Night Dragon. Hold on, folks, give me one moment. Let me just reset that camera really quick. Alrighty. Any chance of getting a simple truth today? Unfortunately, the truth is always difficult, so there's that. So my apologies. Howdy. Astro B London. Alright, so today I came prepared. I have coffee already, so that's a good start. Herman133, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. I wish the truth could be simple. Sometimes it is, but I guess for the most part it is not. Folks, an addendum to the breaking story of yesterday. As most of you probably already know, Colin Powell did pass away due to COVID complications because he was already immunocompromised, and I think he was also dealing with a lot of health issues regarding cancer and things like that. The problem is I see a lot of anti-vax conspiracies that are perpetuating from this in an attempt to say, oh, well, see, Colin Powell, jammies all day, how's it going? Morning. Well, see, Colin Powell took the vaccine and he died. Okay. No. Okay, just to be clear, he already had a lot of health complications beforehand, so no. Just to be clear. Yes, an anti-vax volcano exploded yesterday, that's for sure. Yes, so I just want to make sure that we're all clear, okay? Just to set the record straight, since I keep seeing this. He had multiple bouts from cancer, which, as we know, and it's very documented, that if you have a health complication such as cancer that compromises your immune system, the vaccine efficacy from the get-go, from the beginning, is already pretty low, to be quite honest, which is the reasoning as to why some of these folks would need boosters. But unfortunately, correct, jammies. It's the rare exception as far as the vaccine. Exactly. So, like, it was also very... It's also very well documented, right? This isn't like... This isn't like something that is out of the ordinary to expect when you have someone who Astro just pointed out is on the older side, plus heavily immune compromised. Yeah, so just to be clear, it wasn't the vaccine or just because Colin Powell passed away due to COVID complications does not mean the vaccine doesn't work, right? So I know that all these anti-vaxxers are running with this without taking a second to have some critical thinking or to understand how repeatedly it has been said how this thing works. Exactly, Silver Knight Dragon. Exactly, the vaccine enhances your immune system to fight the virus. If you have little or no immune system, not much you can do. Exactly. Exactly, like, and people are just running with this. So no, okay. Just to set the record straight. Right, because all anti-vaxxers have doctorates in immunology. Yeah, they got that Facebook degree. They got that Facebook, YouTube, degree. I had my number 2 Pfizer 5 days ago. My arm was sore the next day. So far, no issues at all. Nice. Same. Well. Same meaning that I pretty much had no issues, as well. The numbers of hospitalizations and deaths have dropped hugely in places where where the vaccinated is over 80%. Huh. It's almost like... It's almost, and bear with me, it's almost like vaccines work. The only reason it gets sore is because it's injected into the muscle, right? No idea, Dendar. I'm not even gonna pretend I understand that. Welcome. Hi. Howdy. How's it going? I don't know anything. Hey, that is a great default way of thinking, right? Yeah, I don't know anything, so let me find out. Yeah, I don't know anything, so let me investigate this. But yeah, that's true. Personally, I'm not sure exactly if it's because of the muscle or if it's just the inflammation. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend I know. Okay. Very droll. What is droll? I'm sure it makes the muscle quite angry. My concern with the vaccine is I'm not sure if I stated my system enough for the immune system to learn from it. I have an immensely powerful immune system. Oh, I'm sure it makes the muscle tissue quite angry. Gotcha. Well, here's the 200, here's the Galaxy Brain take, Silver Knight Dragon. Ask your doctor if that makes a difference. Here's the Galaxy Brain take. Ask your doctor if that makes a difference. I already got my 2 shots, so I'm not worried. Nice. Thank you, I appreciate all you folks who decided to do the right thing. Thank you. Alright folks, we got quite the amount of headlines to go through. I just looked it up. Awesome. I'm glad I encouraged you to look it up. What did you find, Dendera? What did you find? Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried either about me. I'm worried about the dumb friends and family. I already lost one who was anti-vax. No way, jammies. I'm sorry. Most vaccines are given the intramuscular route. Yeah, that sounds like what it's like. So it's in the muscle. Yeah, I think it's because it is the fastest way for it to do its thing. So that's where the ouch comes from. All right, cool. More you know, folks. The more you know. All right, folks. We are going to go through some headlines here. Oh, it's the opposite. Fake news, everybody. Okay, so I got multiple confirmations of fake news. So intramuscular is used so the vaccine can be slowly released into your bloodstream. Gotcha. Okay. Mestophiles in Missouri is illegal to drive down the highway with an uncaged bear in your car. I mean, yeah, I would imagine so. How is this ever a problem? Who are these weird uncaged bears in the car people? That's a great question. Don't know. There must have been a reason. There must have been a reason for that law to even be proposed. I'm pretty sure there's a story behind it where somebody actually attempted to do it and something really bad happened and they were like, all right, that's it. No more bears in cars. No more bears in cars, folks. Sorry. Alright, folks, we got some headlines to go through. This was brought to my attention thanks to Thinking Sabercat. So I can't really play the full clip because it's MSNBC and they love their copyright strikes. All mainstream media loves the copyright strikes, so I'm gonna be easy with this clip, but there's been an underlying narrative being pushed about how and I believe I was spared because I have one dose of 2. And me, we hung out yesterday before we got to see the hospital. I dodged a bully, died of... Jeez, man. I gotta run. See y'all later. Thank you for stopping by, Jammies. I hope you have a good day. So there's been this narrative going around about how the Justice Department is seeing parents as domestic terrorists. And you know what? I kind of held my my opinions until I had like a good understanding of what the situation is. So it turns out these so-called innocent parents, they're not just protesting. They're not just protesting.
We don't stop them from doing that. I don't reject them standing outside my home. I reject them following me around in a car, following my car around. I reject them saying that they're coming for me, that I need to beg for mercy. I reject that when they are using their First Amendment rights on public property, they're also going behind my home and brandishing their weapons to my neighbors, that they're making false DCF claims against me to my daughter, that I have to take a DCF investigator to her play date to go underneath her clothing and check for burn marks. That's what I'm against, which is a credible threat and calculated.
Wow. Hi again, everyone.
Yeah. And okay, you know, this happened in Florida. Okay, maybe it's an isolated incident. Except it's not. Across the country, there have been multiple stories where people are threatening, not protesting, threatening with violence, school board members, okay? They are literally threatening with violence to elected school members, which I need to remind you. Let's look it up. The definition of terrorism is the unlawful use of violence or threats to intimidate or coerce a civilian population or government with the goal of furthering political, social, or ideological objectives. That's what these people are doing. They are literally threatening the school board members with violence, up to and including brandishing weapons, because they're mad about a mask mandate or whatever it is they're mad about. That is not the same as protesting. That is not the same as protesting. Okay? Here's another one.
If you
This was the letter shared on Facebook by Worthington School Board member Nikki Hudson. It begins with, "We are coming after you." It goes on to claim pain and suffering has been inflicted on children regarding the subject of critical race theory and wearing masks in schools for, quote, "no reason in this world other than control." It's now under investigation by police. Board member Nikki Hudson taking a stand by sharing the letter on Facebook. In her post, she writes, "I am on the receiving end of threats and intimidation like this because I follow science-based guidance from public health experts."
There is no place for bullying, intimidation, intentional misinformation.
Right, so the issue isn't the protesting. The issue isn't the, the parents going out there and, having a problem with the way the school board is operating, or having a problem with the school board or its rules or its implementation. No. They are taking it to the they're taking it to the extreme by threatening them, following them, harassing them, and these are elected officials. And furthermore, this narrative that the FBI or the Justice Department, They only go after people if they're starting to, pose credible threats, or if you're out there suggesting that you should do violence against these school board members. That's the only reason they would go after you. In his memo, okay, so here's the claim. In his memo, the Attorney General Merrick Garland specifically said that spirited debate is protected. His memo targeted threats that go beyond passionate speech, and said nothing about CRT. The line between sincere debate and words that intimidate isn't always clear, and there's a concern that officials might apply an overly broad interpretation. The past courts have ruled against that sort of loose approach, defining what constitutes a threat. Nothing in Garland's memo say that is that part of the plan. So this narrative that the Justice Department is just randomly going after parents of kids is just not true. It's just not true. A, they never said that. B, the line is crossed when it's no longer about like you being mad about something and you protesting at a school board meeting, or you having like those speeches that happen, and those public speeches that parents are allowed to talk at the end of a school board meeting or council meeting or whatever. That line is crossed when you start intimidating them. That line is crossed when you start following them. That line is crossed when you start threatening them, and up to and including brandishing weapons to them. Okay? This is why it's so important to critically evaluate what you're being told and take a step, take a breath, and analyze what's happening, what's actually happening, right? Because it's a very shocking headline, or it's a very shocking claim to be like, well, the Justice Department is looking to prosecute parents. Yeah. Oh my god, jammies. No. No. Why can't the FBI take these domestic terrorists seriously? They are. If you are out there making credible threats to school board members, you will be investigated. They can even storm the Capitol. I would push back on that, Thandera, because there's over 500, I believe there's over 500 cases, regarding the January 6th incident. So yeah, you will be prosecuted. If you're out, you will be prosecuted, and there will be consequences for your actions. Now, to what extent? I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Riot Jerkali. Unfortunately, the majority of local police are anti-maskers as well. Some are, yeah. It's also happened in Washington. Washington State, there has been school board members that have been threatened. So it's not just like, I didn't just pick that one example to give you the most extreme example. This is a pattern that has been reoccurring across the states, across the different states. And it's not cool, okay? It's not cool. And you don't get to intimidate or threaten an official, an elected official, to get your political gains or your ideological gains, okay? You don't get to do that. That's a good point, Riot. that's a good point. Well, it depends also on the different charges, Riot. So we'd have to separate the different charges as to why that would happen, but I see the point that you're making. Also, folks, chat, I need a favor. For those of you that were here in the opening, for those of you that were here in the opening, like the starting soon screen, did you all enjoy, or was the music okay? Was the music for the opening screen and the shifting videos, was that okay for you guys? Did you guys like that? Press 1 to like. I'm supposed to be leaving, it's all good. Only certain Caucasians are that. I think there was a serious extreme sarcasm there. Don't worry, Jammies. There was extreme sarcasm up there. 1, excellent, thank you. Mr. with a 1, thank you. Folks, if you enjoy those beats and you enjoy those like cool, chill vibes, please go to the YouTube channel Mikey P, and that is where you will find it. Let me post it, because actually, now I will pull back the curtain. I will pull back the curtain. My friend actually made all of these beats, and he graciously told me to use it for the opening screens. So if I can get that watch later videos. Okay. What about history? Here we are. Wasn't paying attention, but the music didn't run me off though. Excellent. Please go check them out and give them a sub. They do great beats. I saw ADT mod on Dylan Burns. Oh no. I'm being outed. I'm being outed. Nobody's supposed to know that. Nobody's supposed to know that. Many a true, yes, exactly. Jammies and Astro, many a true word is spoken in jest. Well, that is true. That is true. Anyways, the TLDR is, no, these poor parents aren't being prosecuted across the board because they are protesting vaccine mandates, or they're protesting mask mandates, or whatever it is, CRT, whatever it is that they're protesting. They're not protesting. The folks that in the small cases, which I have yet to see, but the cases that would be prosecuted or would be investigated would be the cases where these folks are crossing the line and following these school board members. They are threatening school board members, they're intimidating school board members, and in the case of course, Florida, brandishing weapons to school board members. So no, you don't get to do that. I don't know much about his story. The music was fine. I left it playing while getting ready. I've had more than one stream intro music make me flee. I get it, Jammies. That's why I'm trying to get it right. Thank you for the feedback. Alright, turning our attention back to Florida. More misinformation that needs to be addressed. Miami private school orders vaccinated students to stay at home for 30 days as a precautionary measure. And this story gets really good. A private school in Florida will require vaccinated students to stay at home for 30 days after each COVID vaccination dose they receive after each COVID vaccination. Because of the potential, and mind you, this is only available, to my knowledge, for kids 12 and up. Because of the potential impact on other students and our school community. I mean, the memes write themselves. Vaccinated students will need to stay at home for 30 days post-vaccination for each dose and booster they receive, which boosters aren't approved for children. Boosters, as of right now, to my knowledge, according to the FDA, is not approved for children. I'm leaving for you. I will sub when I get paid, bro. Listen, please do not throw me $1. Do not throw me a penny until you take care of yourself. And furthermore, one of the awesomest ways to support the channel, and it costs $0.00 is to spread the word. Tell everybody and anybody where to go when it comes to having the chillest place for news and politics. As long as the student, after 30 days, as long as the student is healthy and symptom-free. Why would they be What? The letter suggests that parents may consider vaccinating their children in the summer when there will be time for potential transmission or shedding onto others to decrease. So, this is the idea behind this. I have no other way of wording this. This is just out of this world logic. Is that because this is a common conspiracy theory and it's often repeated by anti-vaxxers that somehow, without evidence, of course, because all of this is just nonsense, that the vaccine actually sheds the virus. Okay. It doesn't happen. Okay, that's not how this vaccine works at all. The CDC has quashed misleading claims that vaccines against COVID make recipients spreader of the virus. Vaccine shedding is the term used to describe the release or discharge of any vaccine components in or outside the body. Vaccine shedding can only occur when a vaccine contains a weakened version of the virus. None of the vaccines authorized for use in the US contain a live virus. In a statement to the Washington Post, David Sentner, one of the school's founders, said the decision was a precautionary measure based on numerous anecdotal cases. Nice meme that have been in circulation, i.e., he did his own research and went to Facebook. He did his own research and it sucked. The school is not open. Alright, who wrote this? Stop. Okay. Monique Beals. Come on. The school is not opening as to whether is not oh wait, maybe I'm to blame on this one. Opinioning as to whether the unexplained phenomena have a basis in fact. However, we prefer to err on the side of caution when making decisions that impact the health of the school community. Oh, nice meme. The same school has a history of spreading inaccurate vaccine information and received attention in April when it asked teachers to hold off on getting their COVID shots. We're not telling teachers they can't get the vaccine, we're just simply asking that they hold off a little bit. Huh. It's almost like this whole notion, this whole narrative of like, well, I want to have bodily autonomy and all of this other stuff. Starting to press X to doubt on that one. You know, as Memo for the Record has said before, gaslight, obstruct, and then project. That's it. That's it. That's the game plan, folks. Some of my work colleagues get their kids sent home from daycare if they cough or sneeze 2 times and are not allowed back until confirmed COVID-free. So this could be the basis for that school's stay-home policy. Maybe. But it's just not based in any way, shape, or form in reality. They're just... In other words, they're just trying to discourage people from getting vaccinated by sending the kids home for 30 days after each dose. So the first dose is 30. So they want the kids to spend 60 days out of the classroom, which to my knowledge, a normal school year isn't a normal school year about 180 days. That's odd. What stated that? Take a wild guess. Riot, take a wild guess. Florida. Florida. We're not anti-vaxxers, we're in favor of safe vaccines. Then you'll be happy to know that this vaccine has gone through, well, all 3 vaccines that are currently approved, that are currently available in the United States have gone through rigorous testing, and the Pfizer vaccine, which has been shown to be just fine, very efficacious, and has been FDA approved. I'll be happy to notate that all your boxes have been checked, except they don't care about that. They never did. Are these vaccines and this injection 100% safe? Wait, that's your line? That's where you're gonna draw the line, 100%. You know that's not true for any vaccine, right? I'm not willing to take the chance on a question mark. Well, good thing you don't have to. The question mark has been mostly answered. The vaccine is incredibly efficacious. It is overwhelmingly effective. It is safe. The chances of adverse effects are incredibly rare. They're widely available. They're free. They've been the Pfizer vaccine has been FDA approved. The 7-day daily COVID cases in average, Florida stood at 2,600 cases as of Sunday as the state leaderships remain opposed to vaccine mandates. Yeah, okay. This is irrelevant to the story. The TLDR is like these type of like anti-vaxxer logic just doesn't hold to the most basic scrutiny whatsoever, and they are forcing. Remember how it was supposed to be about the Remember how they cried about like the mandates and the forcing freedom or whatever it is. They're forcing kids to stay home should they want to make that decision to take the vaccine for almost about half of the school year. In this particular Center Academy in Miami. In this particular, so I just want to be clear here. I guess they don't even have a football team, right, Drew? Is your baby formula 100% safe? Is the water coming out of your tap 100% safe? Is the milk? Yeah, exactly. Like, the line that these people draw is intentionally, like, it's intentionally to make the most, like, out there, outrageous argument. Because they, at the end of the day, don't care. Okay? They don't care. They spread, well, these particular folks, I'm just talking about these particular folks, are purposely spreading and discouraging something so simple, something so easily, readily available, and in the case of the Pfizer vaccine, FDA approved, right? Ridiculous. And in a surprising turn of events, folks, I know this is shocking. Breaking news. Jeff Bezos may have lied to Congress. No way! Executives at Amazon, including founder Jeff Bezos, may have misled or lied to Congress about the firm's business practices. Yeah, because we all know how ethical Amazon's business practices have been, or are, I should say. Sorry about that. We all know how ethical Amazon's business practices have been, right? And then on top of that, the cherry on top is they lied about it. Huh? It almost is like a pattern, right? Like a pattern, from the tobacco industry lying about the effects of cigarettes and all that, to the fossil fuel industry lying about the effects of their of oil, gas, and oil and gas on the planet. Huh? It's almost like DuPont and other petrochemical and chemical manufacturing companies lying about the effects of their chemicals and PFAS chemicals, even though they knew about this years ago. Here's a difficult truth. You can unequivocally get fucked. Anyways, shall we go on? DuPont lying about PFAS chemicals, which they knew about years ago? Oh, you too? "3M." Right, 3M. The company 3M. As well. What about Facebook? What about Facebook lying about the effects of social media? What about Facebook lying about its role in allowing its platform to be used for perpetuating genocide? Yeah. A company would never lie. The members of the House Judiciary Committee said they were considering referring the firm for criminal investigation. It follows an investigation by Reuters that claimed Amazon copied products and rigged its search results in India to boost sales of its own brands. Not surprised. Amazon strongly denies the allegations. Amazon and its executives did not mislead the committee, and we have denied and sought to correct the record on the inaccurate media articles in question. On Monday, 5 members of the U.S. House Judiciary Committee wrote to Amazon boss Andy Jassy, who succeeded Mr. Bezos in July. They said credible reporting by Reuters and recent articles in other news outlets directly contradicts the sworn testimonies and representations of Amazon's top executive, including former CEO Jeffrey Bezos. At best, this reporting confirms that Amazon's representatives misled the committee. At worst, it demonstrates that they may have lied to Congress in possible violation of federal criminal law. Yeah, well, the real test here would be if there's actually any consequences, right? Because companies have been doing this for decades. Since the dawn, since as far as I can remember being in politics, okay, I'm obviously being hyperbolic, since the dawn of time, but since I can remember and being in politics, companies have repeatedly lied, constantly, about their business practices, about their products. Since 2019, House Judiciary Committee has been investigating competition in digital markets, including how Amazon uses third-party seller data from its platform and whether the company unfairly favors its own products. In sworn testimony before the Judiciary Committee's Antitrust Subcommittee last year, Mr. Bezos said the firm forbids employees using data on individual sellers to benefit Amazon's own brand product lines. I mean, like, the reality is, can you imagine how okay this has been allowed to be? Amazon literally has everything. They have the ability to distribute. They have their own lines, their own lines of product. They host other products. They own everything. They even have their own Amazon Pharmacy, I believe, as well. Amazon Fresh, which is coordinated with Whole Foods. They literally have everything. Consequences for billionaires. That's a good one. In a sworn in another hearing in 2019, Nate Sutton, Amazon's associate general counsel, said the firm never used such data to create its own branded products or manipulate its search engine for private gain. Press X to doubt chat. Press X to doubt, as it's really weird how some popular items magically start showing up on Amazon Basics. I'll give you an example because I'm a streamer, so I kind of like pay attention to these things. But the Blue Yeti is quite possibly one of the most common microphones for streamers. Guess what? Guess what's on the market? Send that to me, big dangly things. I've searched Amazon a lot lately, and to be honest, there's a whole products made from rando Chinese companies that are marketed harder than Amazon's own products, but that could just be BS. Maybe. It just depends on what you're searching for. Where's the Amazon Basic version of the Blue Yeti? They literally copied the exact same framework of the Blue Yeti and then like torpedoed the price. This article talks about the time Jeff Bezos ran a diaper company out of business by lowering the prices only to buy them out when they were going under, and then jacked up the prices on diapers again. Jesus Christ. I searched shelves, electronic foods, and storage bins. Yeah, what I'm saying is that they will take something that's really popular. I'll use the example of the Blue Yeti, make their own, and then tank the price so they could sell, their stuff. The algorithms are optimized to predict what customers want to buy regardless of the seller. However, Reuters' investigation, which was based on thousands of pages of internal Amazon documents leaked to the agency, contradicted these claims. The news agency alleged that in India, at least, Amazon had a secret policy of manipulating search results to favor Amazon's own products as well as copying other sellers' goods. I see. So this is strictly relegated to India. Sorry. So you may not see the same things here, but that's what's being alleged here. However, it would not surprise me if shady business practices are happening across the board. My grandma bought Amazon pants, like the Amazon brand. Yeah, they literally have everything. Amazon Canada, the Amazon Basic products are almost like the same as what they copied. Are you talking about in price? Ah, I see. Amazon Basic Professional USB mic, condenser mic, black. Uh-oh. Did I do a fake news? Hold on, folks. Did I do a fake news? Uh-oh. Alright, I may have chosen the wrong example. I may have to eat my own words here, folks. I may have to eat my own words. Look at that.
Greetings, Earthlings. I'm back with a review of another Blue Yeti ripoff. So today we're reviewing this guy, the Amazon Basics Professional USB Condenser Microphone. If you do want to pick this guy up, it'll set you back around $100. Like always, I'll throw some links in the description. For the majority of this review, I have the microphone connected directly to my Mac where the...
Yeah, alright, fake news, everybody. Fake news. So they started off by making the price about as much as the Blue Yeti, and then they made it higher for some reason. Oh, but if you buy the silver one, it's about the same exact price as the Blue Yeti. All right, fake news, everybody. I was confused. I could have sworn I saw that the Amazon Basics USB mic was cheaper than the Blue Yeti, but I was mistaken. I will retract that statement previously. The news agency alleges that in India, at least, Amazon had a secret policy of manipulating search results to favor Amazon's own product, as well as copying other sellers' goods. Reuters also claimed that at least 2 senior company executives were aware of the policy. Yikes. The lawmakers also cite other recent stories in the markup, Wall Street Journal, Capital Forum about Amazon's private brand product and use of seller data. The lawmakers have given Mr. Jassy until November 1st to provide evidence to corroborate the company's previous testimony and statements. So here's the thing, like, it's kind of tempting. I mean, how could you not? You have all of that information right at your fingertips. I mean, it's kind of tempting, isn't it? At one time, it may have been, maybe, Silver Night Dragon, but for now, I'll just say that it's very simple. I was wrong. For now. Fake news. Fake news, everybody. Fake news. Their letter also notes that it's criminally illegal to knowingly or willfully make statements that are materially false, conceal a material fact, or otherwise provide false documentation in response to a congressional investigation. We strongly encourage you to make use of this opportunity to correct the record as we consider whether a referral of this matter to the Department of Justice for criminal investigation is appropriate. In a statement, Amazon spokesperson called the claims made by Reuters and other media outlets factually incorrect and unsubstantiated. Okay, so as we have previously stated, we have an internal policy which goes beyond that of any retailer's policy that we're aware of that prohibits the use of individual seller data to develop Amazon's private label products. We investigate any allegations that this policy may have been violated and take appropriate action. Okay. Big tech companies including Amazon, Facebook, and Alphabet have been under growing scrutiny in Washington, Europe, and other parts of the world. Regulators are concerned that they have too much power and engaging in unfair practices and hurt other businesses. I would say that they are. It's safe to say that they are. I found that Amazon Basic shelves I've purchased are superior quality to the shelves they've copied. Huh. Interesting. If that's the case, maybe I'll cop myself a, maybe one day I'll cop myself a, Basics USB mic so I can take it around. Or leave it, at my parents' house. The lawmakers' letter was signed by a bipartisan group including Democrats Jerry Nadler, David Cicilline, Pramila Jayapal, and Republicans Ken Buck and Matt Gaetz. In India on Monday, a trade group representing thousands of brick-and-mortar retailers has urged Prime Minister Narendra Modi to take action against Amazon. Yeah, I mean, like, if Amazon is engaging in these dubious business practices, then there definitely should be repercussions. I mean, here within our purview, we can enforce whatever antitrust legislation we have here. That is within our purview. The t-shirts too. I've actually heard from a friend who's bought Amazon Basic shirts, and he said they were fine. He said they were great. Still has them. TLDR, it would not surprise me if it was found that Amazon was partaking in dubious business practices, as they have. So we will keep an update on this, and I hope that if they are, that there are some serious consequences, especially for lying to Congress. Supreme Court will consider fast-track appeal of Texas abortion law. So it seems like the final showdown of that constitutionally dubious law that was done in Texas is going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court on Monday agreed to a request from abortion right advocates and providers to quickly consider taking up their challenge to a restrictive Texas law that bans most abortions as early as 6 weeks of pregnancy. The petitioners last month have submitted the unusual request for the Supreme Court to hear the case before final judgment in the lower courts. If the court agrees to consider the case on an expedited basis, it would accept briefs, hear arguments, and deliver a ruling much faster than if the case had to wind through the normal court channels. Though the case is pending in a U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, arguments would not be held until December at the earliest. The High Court has directed the respondents in the case to file a response by noon on Thursday. That's the same time Texas is due to file its reply in a separate challenge of the law, which the Department of Justice brought to the Supreme Court earlier Monday. A pivotal abortion case is already set for oral arguments in December 1. Proponents of abortion rights fear the courts, with a 6-3 conservative majority, could weaken or abolish decades-old precedent protecting the right to an abortion before fetal viability. Texas law, which bans most abortions at a point where women are not yet aware of their pregnancy, also empowers private citizens, and that's the real cringy part here. Besides the fact that it completely spits in the face of precedent, and it is designed to strip bodily autonomy, it empowers essentially vigilantes. Private citizens to file lawsuits against anyone who aids and abets in the procedure. Critics say that the system effectively turns citizens into bounty hunters. True. The Texas abortion providers and organizations in August had filed an emergency request for the Supreme Court to stop the restrictive law, SB 8, from taking effect on September 1, but the court did not issue its decision until hours after the law was implemented. In a one-paragraph opinion issued late at night, the court ruled 5-4 against the request for an emergency injunction, partly on procedural grounds. The Justice Department sued Texas shortly thereafter, and earlier this month, a federal judge granted the agency's bid to temporarily block law enforcement of the law. This court will not sanction one more day of this offensive deprivation of such an important right. But an appeals court issued a stay of action that allowing the law to go back to into effect. So this is a so this has been a wild back and forth. I mean, honestly, this to me is a very easy no from me. Constitutionally dubious, how polite. Yeah. Hey Alio, how's it going? Amazon owns Twitch, also true. I can finally type, not connecting to chat. Wow. Jeez, Alio. I think that, sometimes if you're seeing that, connecting to chat, because sometimes it happens where it keeps spinning, I just get out of the app or close the browser and relaunch it. I'm almost convinced that they structured the anti-abortion law that way because they don't trust the courts anymore. Honestly, Silver Knight Dragon, I think they structured it this way for the purpose of making sure that that they could go through and not immediately get struck down, because see, they aren't enforcing the law. The private citizens are being effectively deputized to bring up challenges if they see someone getting an abortion, they could potentially pick up 10K for suing them. And they don't target the person getting the abortion. They target the people who aid and abet them. See? And I would argue, Silver Knight Dragon, I would argue the opposite, because the majority in the Supreme Court is more conservative, and I feel like now is the time for them, at least in their heads. If there was any chance to overturn Roe versus Wade, it would be now. So that's why they're pushing as hard as they can in every way they can. I think that they're still dealing with another Missouri law that the Supreme Court has to hear. I mean, like, they're throwing everything at it because they feel like the conservative majority in the Supreme Court will be favorable to them. That's it. I would argue the opposite. And especially since Mitch McConnell went on a spree of fast-tracking judges. About a fourth of the federal judiciary also has been selected by conservatives. So a fourth of the judiciary. Howdy. I'm okay, I guess. Howdy. Missouri just regulates the crap out of abortion clinics, right? But there's another law down the pipeline that is being heard by the Supreme Court soon, I believe. Earlier Monday, the DOJ asked the Supreme Court to vacate that stay, arguing that the appeals court action enables Texas' ongoing nullification of this court's precedents and its citizens' constitutional right. The DOJ also suggested that the court should add the case to its briefing and argument schedule for this term. Did you turn it off and on again? I mean, it works. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? I wish we had a communist party in America. Isn't there the CAP? CPUSA, sorry. TLDR, folks, pay attention to what's happening in your state, local, and federal government, because the more you are involved, the more you're involved, the more your understanding of how these things work, the better informed you are, the better chance of you having effective change. Trump sues to keep White House records secret, claiming executive privilege. Former President Trump filed a lawsuit Monday in D.C. district courts against the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection and the National Archives in an effort to keep records of his presidency secret by claiming executive privilege. That's interesting. I thought he was completely innocent. There's nothing to worry about, right? Nothing to worry about. I thought it was like I thought it was just like a tourist, just a regular day in DC, like a tourist tour. I thought there was nothing to worry about. Weird. The lawsuit from Trump is an attempt to block the work of the House committee as it investigates his actions before and during the siege of the Capitol. The court action also marks his latest effort in a long and thorny fight against subpoenas from the Democratic-controlled House. The Biden administration has declined to assert executive privilege over a first tranche of Trump-era records, and Trump is currently opposed to the release of about 40 documents. Why? The law alleges that the House requests for documents from the executive branch are unprecedented in their breadth and scope and untethered to any legitimate legislative purpose. It also claims that President Biden's refusal to protect some of the documents are a political ploy to accommodate his partisan allies. I would like to point out that the Democratic Party did extend the investigation committee to be as bipartisan as possible. They even proposed that the GOP had exact equal number of folks with equal subpoena power, and they rejected that. So, yeah. Polling shows Biden's approval cratering and the 2022 slipping out of Democrats' grasp. No wonder the Democrats and the media want to distract America from the surrender in Afghanistan. Skyrocketing inflation, which has nothing to do. Okay, a border crisis, crippling COVID mandates. Citation needed. And a stalled legislative agenda. By whom? Said Taylor Budowich, a spokesperson for Trump and his political organization. Committee Chairman Benny Thompson, a Mississippi Democrat, and Vice Chair Liz Cheney, a Wyoming Republican, responded in a joint statement Monday night that the former president's clear objective is to stop the select committee from getting to the facts about January 6th, and his lawsuit is nothing more than an attempt to delay and obstruct our probe. President and law on our side. The bear vowed to fight the former president's attempt to obstruct the investigation while we continue to push ahead successfully with our probe on a number of fronts. For its part, the White House stood by its decision not to assert privilege over documents sought by the committee, alleging that in a statement on Monday that Trump abused the office of the presidency and attempted to subvert a peaceful transfer of power. The former president's action represents a unique and existential threat to our democracy that can't be swept under the rug. As President Biden determined, the constitutional protections of executive privilege should not be used as a shield of information that reflects a clear and apparent effort to subvert the Constitution itself. Well, to be fair, we would need to know what exactly is in that, and why does he not want those things released. Among several legal arguments he's making in court, Trump claimed Trump claims the House committee hasn't made any clear legislative reason why it needs records from Trump presidency, and he should have some ability to keep private his discussions as president. Wait, unless that's like some wild threat to national security or like some, I don't know, secret things that needs to be private. Dude, you were the president, so you're a public official. There shouldn't be anything private when it comes to the presidency. Everything should be as transparent as possible, unless there's like some really, really massive reason as to why. But for the most part, anything that happens during a presidency, that's not private. It also claims that the Presidential Records Act is unconstitutional if it so broadly as to allow an incumbent president unfettered discretion to waive previous president's executive privilege mere months after following an administration change. The National Archives is slated to turn over the requested documents to Congress by early next month, putting the Trump's court pursuit in a short timeline if he wants to block the release of information to the House. In the lawsuit, Trump argues the House committee is on a politically motivated fishing expedition. As lawyers say, the House committee has no real legislative purpose, and the Supreme Court in 2020 said Congress needs to have one when seeking information about the president. The House Select Panel apparently believes it has been given a free pass to request a sweeping set of documents and records. Okay, so now we're going into previous cases. The TLDR of this is, if you've got nothing to hide, buddy, why so skittish? Why so skittish? That's kind of weird, isn't it? It's a bit strange. It's a bit strange. Alright, folks, give me 1 second because the next story... Ooh. Because he is out of office and it's a political witch hunt, so to speak. What? What are you talking about? Wait, so... Hold on, I thought the whole point of doing all of this is to have a well-documented and archive of what happened in January 6th, and to hold those who have some hand in it responsible. So if there's nothing to worry about, then why care? Unless you don't want the investigation to happen, which is really weird. Really weird. Dennis Prager. Some of you have probably already seen this. But... let's take a listen.
Okay, everybody.
Whoa.
All good. I'm broadcasting from my home because I'm not going into the station as I have COVID. I was tested positive last week, and I have been steadily improving. At no point was I in danger of hospitalization. I have received monoclonal.
At no point was I in danger of hospitalization? Yeah, okay.
Antibodies. That's Regeneron. I have, of course, for...
the thing that is under emergency authorization use? Huh, interesting. If that is true, then I agree with you, Tygar. No one should be above scrutiny. If that's the case, then I would agree with you that nobody's above scrutiny, if that is true. But you'd have to seriously prove that, right? That being said, not gonna lie, that being said, not gonna lie, Biden's not exactly good on that record. So
a year and a half, not years, been taking hydroxychloroquine from the beginning with zinc.
Wait, I thought the pandemic wasn't real, wasn't a big deal. So then, why would you be preparing for this a year in advance? So either the pandemic is real and serious enough for Dennis Prager to sit and prepare for it for a year, taking hydroxychloroquine, which again, these are his words, so he is very well known as a liar. He has repeatedly, he runs an entire apparatus that constantly lies and misleads. So it is not out of, so take his words with a grain of salt, but he is saying that he took monoclonal antibodies, which are under emergency authorization, so he feels like that's okay, but not the vaccine, which is wild. I honestly think that Dennis Prager is, and I don't mean that like in an insulting way. I mean like I think, no, that's that okay, but there's a difference between the left, lies and misrepresentation to this batshit out of this world like nonsense, okay? And who does more damage? Clearly, there's a winner in this race.
I've taken Z-Pak,
Again, if what he's saying is true, the monoclonal antibodies have shown to be incredibly effective. So all of the rest of the stuff, how do you know that it wasn't just the monoclonal antibodies that you took? Plus, you have access to whatever healthcare you need.
erythromycin.
What?
As the Zelenko protocol would have it, I have taken ivermectin.
Oh, wait, he's doing the Joe Rogan thing. Oh, Chad, he's doing the Joe Rogan thing. I don't know, I think Prager deserves many strong insults. Yeah, well, the thing is, like, Dennis Prager is just beyond, I think he's honestly insane. And I don't mean that as an insult, I mean, like, he is literally, there's some psychopathic behavior that he's experienced, that he's exhibiting. I mean, look no further. Didn't he try to excuse there's really no way of getting around this. Didn't he excuse husbands raping wives? That's not true. They're absolutely tested. Specifically, the Pfizer vaccine has been not only FDA approved, but has been rigorously tested. So has the J&J. So has the Moderna vaccine. All of these have been completely, fully tested, and the Pfizer one has already been FDA approved. Yeah, they have. There's nothing that you. Okay, so here's my challenge to you. Can you prove where they haven't been fully tested? Because to even be acknowledged for emergency authorization by the FDA, you already have to have rigorous testing. There have been billions of doses already given across the planet. Source. Go on. Send me a whisper with your source. Yeah, Alio, it's not even Dr. Fauci. Like, you don't even, he has no bearing on the vaccines. Dr. Fauci has no bearing on the vaccine. Like, even if Dr. Fauci is out there pushing it, it doesn't matter. There's a literal world, a plethora of international information demonstrating the efficacy, the safetiness, and the rigorous testing of these vaccines. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to make sure I got everything logged in for work. Just give me a moment, please. All right. Sorry about that. Sounds like you're harnessed to the capital workers like the rest of us. Yeah, of course. My question is, which better booster after the J&J, Moderna, or Pfizer? We don't know. But to be honest, like, unless there's like, I would just follow the latest FDA recommendations. Estimated primary completion May 2023. Just message that page to you. Wait, so are you saying that they're just continuing to study it? Yeah. Yeah, because we're currently still administering these things. That does not mean that the vaccine itself hasn't been tested. Wait. Yeah, so this is just another study that they've been doing for for specifically the Pfizer vaccine. However, that doesn't mean they haven't done previous studies for them to show results to be FDA approved. You know that, right? You're linking a study, one study, who is currently still undergoing, but that doesn't mean that there haven't been previous studies that Pfizer has had to submit showing the efficacy and what they did and how they got there, what are the results, to even be acknowledged for emergency authorization. So you're just wrong. Who has to worry if the vaccine kept you alive and millions other? Just make sure you keep up protection for the good of humanity. Yeah. Anyways, back to our friend Dennis Prager. This is just one, my dude. Okay, so last time before you timed out, last time, one study to continue to look into the Pfizer vaccine doesn't mean there were previous studies for them to be authorized by the FDA. There can be ongoing clinical trials, sure, and I'm sure there are, and I'm sure there's others as well ongoing. However, in order for your product to be FDA approved, especially for emergency authorization, there has to have been studies previously. You know that, right? Just as I showed you there from 2020 in December, they already had other studies as well for over 43,000 people. A total of 43,548 participants. Oh, the irony of that statement. The irony of that statement. Do you know what my generation is? Or are you just making assumptions? And furthermore, did you acknowledge the study that I just presented to you, which was previous before the one that you submitted, to make the point that these things have been studied and these things have gone through trials beforehand and have to prove their efficacy and safety before getting even emergency authorization? And just to be clear, chat, this is the study that he was citing, or they were citing. Wait a minute. Is this a study for boosters? Wait, chat, can someone look into this study? Is this a study to show the efficacy of boosters? And the difference between 2 shots versus 3 shots? I see. This person didn't bother to read their own study. Of course, it is. So it's new, it's very recent. Do you really want to wait until you're fucked about COVID? Yeah. Wait, chat. Okay, so I understand that Tigar, I understand reading is hard. But you probably should actually look into the studies that you are citing. Holy shit. Okay. Chat, check this out. So that is one booster. Sorry, that is one shot, first dose, phase 2 completed. The second dose is phase 3 completed. That's why the FDA only approved. I think we're actually we cited the same story, the same studies. The FDA, approved the 2 doses because those were the completed phases. There's trial phase 1, 2, and 3. This one right here, that's the booster that hasn't been finished. The phase 3 are for children under the age of 13. Scroll up. Okay, so in other words, in age 3, 18 to 55, as a booster. Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying, Najma. Vaccines work, period. Oh, yeah, 100%. Absolutely, vaccines work. But on Twitch, 2 years of misinformation. Why? Because it gets the clicks, my friends. I understand that reading is hard, but I recommend that if you don't understand what's being presented in front of you, that's okay. Listen, I don't understand everything. I don't understand everything, okay, on this planet. So, therefore, there are people who do, and I would probably defer to them unless you understand what is being presented in front of you. So, like, yeah, what this seems to me is just to prove that it was actually indeed the Pfizer vaccines that are being out there. Have been tested, especially for the 2 dose, which is why, based on the results they proved, were allowed to be used for emergency authorization, and then consequently was the first one to be approved by the FDA because of all of this studies that it had behind it. Okay, what I'm assuming I'm looking at is the third one. The third booster shot is what I'm assuming. The FDA has passed phase 3 for biotech. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Even if you're hesitant, at least read and get educated. Yeah, there you go. Boom. That's it. Simple as that. Reading is hard, folks. Reading is hard. Thank you, Najmuk. Thank you. Yeah, the FDA passed phase 3 for biotech. There you go. At least, even if you're hesitant, at least read and get educated. Yeah, and if you don't understand, that's okay too. Like, there are people who literally dedicate their entire livelihood to understand these things. Okay?
I have done what a...
All right,
okay,
so
everybody. All good. I'm broadcasting from
Dennis,
my home.
Dennis Prager, everybody.
Because I'm not going into the station as I have COVID. I was tested positive last week, and I have been steadily improving. At no point was I in danger of hospitalization. I have received monoclonal antibodies. That's Regeneron. I have, of course, for years, a year and a half, not years, been taking hydroxychloroquine from the beginning with zinc. I've taken Z-Pak, the erythropoietin.
Remember, folks, according to folks who perpetuate misinformation like Dennis Prager, remember to them the pandemic wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a hoax, but it was a hoax. But also, I've been preparing for this for a year. He's been taking hydroxychloroquine. Again, everything that Dennis Prager says you have to take with a grain of salt, because he literally runs a entire apparatus that constantly lies and misleads constantly. But if what he's saying is true, he's been taking hydroxychloroquine for over a year, but also it's not a big deal.
Mycin, as the Zelenko protocol would have it. I have taken ivermectin. I have done what a person should do if one is not going to get vaccinated.
No, do not listen to Dennis Prager.
It is infinitely preferable to have natural immunity than vaccine immunity.
One little problem, Mr. Prager. That means you have to roll the dice with COVID, especially someone in the age group that you're in is incredibly vulnerable. That is absolutely irresponsible to recommend to get COVID instead of the vaccine, where COVID can get you, even if you don't pass away, it can get you incredibly sick. There's such a thing as calling there's such a thing as long COVID, which has long-term effects on you, versus a vaccine that can prevent all of that. This is just psychopathic. There's no evidence that hydroxychloroquine or ivermectin even works against COVID. Correct. It is like going for a pro boxing match without learning how to box. Yeah, exactly.
And that is what I hoped for the entire time. Hence,
oh yeah, yeah. This is what I hoped for the entire time. But it's okay. I'm on the up and up. I'm doing what anyone should do. Okay, buddy.
So engaged with strangers, constantly hugging them, taking photos with them, knowing that I've constantly invaded strangers' personal space
I may or may not have intentionally spread COVID or tried to attempt to get COVID.
And making myself very susceptible to getting COVID.
I am in one of those vulnerable age groups, and I just wanted to own the libs so hard that I would be willing to give, willing to get a virus that has a very, very that is very bad for, especially for my age group. And yeah, that's me, Dennis Prager.
Which is indeed, as bizarre as it sounded, what
It's
I
not bizarre, it's psychopathic.
wanted, in the hope that I would achieve natural immunity and be taken care of by therapeutics.
Which is funny because the therapeutic he referred to, the monoclonal antibodies, is under emergency authorization. Anyways, these people can't have a coherent statement whatsoever. Contradictory at all points. But again, he is willing to risk, especially Dennis Prager, who is in that vulnerable age group. He's literally willing to risk his life. To own the libs and to show and to show that he's that natural immunity, like, yeah, I understand that natural immunity is incredibly robust, but that requires you getting COVID.
That is exactly what has happened. It should have happened to the great majority of Americans.
I want the great majority of Americans to get incredibly sick. A portion of them may or may not die. A portion of them may or may not be in the hospital for a few days, overwhelming our systems. A portion of them may end up with permanent disabilities, long COVID, in terms of, like, there have been notated health risks when it comes to your lungs, kidneys, and even neurological damage. Right, and the sad part, read and wrap, is that Dennis Prager is absolutely rich enough to afford monoclonal antibodies. He's rich enough to afford any type of medical care that would keep him alive, that most people don't have access to here in the United States.
The number of deaths in this
And has the audacity to say this to millions of people, I imagine.
country owing to COVID is a scandal which one day will be clear to Americans.
Jesus. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anti-vaxxers are incapable of thinking about other people. True. You can never understand fellow Americans that can't afford basic medical necessity. Oh, I think he can. He'll just tell you that bootstraps. Get them bootstraps. I could afford it. Why can't you? That's what he'll say. Unbelievable. The grifting check is so good. I mean, look at his backyard, Drew. Just like Trump. Will you follow them off the cliff? Yeah, basically. But here's the really cool stuff about that. For them, they have a little platform. They have like a little hidden platform that their followers can't see. So they'll be safe. But they're leading their followers will go off the cliff, but they'll be safe. They'll be fine. And that's the sad part about that whole thing. Like, a lot of these folks are I would say victims because of all of this massive misinformation and things like that. I mean, like, even trying to attempt to cite studies without understanding what the studies are telling you is just a testament to my point earlier with our friend over here attempted to own the libs by providing a real study. It's a real study. But failing to understand what it was trying to do, okay? If you don't know something, that's okay. It's not that hard to admit. Just earlier today, I had to take my L because I had to take my L because I was wrong about Amazon, okay? About Amazon Basics and about the pricing versus the pricing of an Amazon Basic USB mic versus the Blue Yeti. I was wrong, and that's okay. Listen, I remembered something. Maybe at one point it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. The point is, I was wrong, okay? And that's okay. Alright, folks. Molding part number 5, I guess. Progressive Coalition unveils ad to pressure Manchin on Biden's spending agenda. Jesus, this framing. A coalition of progressive groups have unveiled a six-figure television advertising buy to ratchet up pressure on centrist conservative President Joe Manchin to support President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar Build Back Better agenda. The ad is focused on an estimated 30,000 new jobs that would be created in West Virginia if Biden's full human infrastructure spending plan passes. The West Virginia New Jobs Coalition, which is led by West Virginia Citizen Action, Sierra Club, SCIU 1199, and West Virginia Working Families Party, announced the ad, which began airing on Sunday. Which, to be fair, 6 figures for an ad, like an ad strategy, I guess, an ad run is isn't that much, to be fair. The vaccine mandate is only applied to federal government employees or every single one? No, I think that the current vaccine mandate is for Read and Rap has subscribed with a tier 1 subscription. Thank you. I appreciate the support. Thank you. I think it's for federal government. And I think it applies to companies who have 100 employees or more. The way to get out of the vaccine mandate is either present negative COVID test to make sure that you don't have it, or I think in rare occasions, when applicable, because it's extremely hard to prove religious exemption, medical exemption. You have to have a really solid excuse backed by medical, I'm sure for medical exemptions, there has to be a really backed up obvious reasoning as to why you can't take this vaccine. The same thing with religious exemptions. It's very strict for a reason. And hey, it's not even like so basically it's for federal government employees and for employees that are I think for companies that are 100 employees or above. I think the alternative is to keep producing negative COVID tests, because obviously you want to make sure that you don't have it. So that's pretty much how it is as of right now, to my understanding. We can look that up. Read and Rap 2 gifting a tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That's really generous. Is Kevin McCarthy anti-vax? Don't know. Okay, so employers with 100 employees to ensure vaccinated, to ensure their workers are vaccinated or tested weekly. Required vaccinations for all federal workers and millions of contractors that do business. So if you're a federal contractor or a federal employee, requiring COVID vaccinations for over 17 million. Also for the healthcare workers, Medicaid, hospitals, and other healthcare settings. Large entertainment venues requiring proof of vaccination, which is like, I assume like mega concerts and stuff like that. And requiring employers to provide paid time off to get vaccinated. So that is so far the current rules right now. Whoa. Thank you so much, Read and Rap. I appreciate the generosity. Progressive Coalition unveils ad to pressure Manchin on Biden's spending plan. Let's go through this here. The ad is focused on an estimated 30,000 new jobs that would be created in West Virginia if Biden's full human infrastructure spending plan passes. Which began airing on Sunday. It shows a montage of interviews with West Virginia residents talking about how difficult it is to earn a living in the mountain state where people have the second lowest per capita income in the country after Mississippi. One of the ad's narrators point out that 60,000 people left West Virginia in the past 5 years, while another say, Joe Manchin, we need permanent, long-term jobs, and this whole state is depending on him to do something right. Yeah, I mean, like, what better way to have, what better way to have a good economic stimulus than to have these infrastructure jobs, right? I mean, who's going to build all of these renewable energy? Who's going to maintain all of these things, right? Yeah, this is perfect. And there'll be good paying jobs. I understand why many rhinos are trying to push back that mandate, yeah. We think right now that is, we've been phone banking for 6 months now and having West Virginians connect with Joe Manchin, said Ryan Frankenberry, state director at West Virginia Working Family Party. We think that right now is the critical moment where they're going to come to some kind of agreement, we hope, and we want to push Joe Manchin to go big and bold and deliver for West Virginia and the rest of the country because his action, or I guess rather inaction, affects the rest of us. The ad campaign also includes billboard media, direct mail, digital advertising, and a field canvas that kicked off on Monday. It is a multi-pronged approach at connecting West Virginians with Joe Manchin to show him there is support for this. We know the polls are overwhelmingly supportive of the Build Back Better agenda. Gary Zuckett, the executive director of West Virginia Citizen Action, pointed to a poll of 600 registered West Virginia voters conducted in August showing 48% that supported the Build Back Better, while 47% opposed it. The survey conducted by Global Strategy Groups increased significantly when voters are told that it would be paid for by increasing taxes on the wealthy, individuals, and corporations. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Of course, when you explain these things to the people, they'll be more supportive. Like, why would you just ask that as is? The polling numbers really show that West Virginians overwhelmingly support the aspects of the Build Back Better program, especially when it's explained that they, yes, no kidding. Wow, amazing. God. When it's explained that they'll be paid for by increasing taxes on millionaires and billionaires and making tax-dodging corporations of taxes. What? I guess what they mean is they're gonna make sure that tax-dodging corporations pay their taxes. And pay-fors were an integral part of the support. No kidding! The Global Strategy Group found that 70% of West Virginia voters support taxing the investments gains of wealthy individuals at regular income levels, and 65% support a one-time tax on billionaires' untaxed investments gains above $1 billion. I would say more, but Biden's spending plan would provide $2.5 billion in public investment in clean renewable energy, which would create more than 570 jobs in West Virginia, while $2 billion in transportation funding, including $1.3 billion to modernize and electrify public school and individual transit, would create more than 1,400 jobs, for example. Nice. Yeah, can you imagine if they actually invest in trying to modernize public school and individual transit and creating jobs while you do that and reducing emissions while you do that as well? I mean, geez. An estimated 706 new jobs would come from a $764 million investment to upgrade and improve energy efficiency of public schools and housing. The West Virginia New Jobs Coalition was created in December before the outcome of the two special Senate elections in Georgia, which created the 50-50 split Senate and made Manchin a major power broker in Washington. President Joe Manchin. Reading is fundamental, true. Anyone else imagine a berry that's made a part of other berries when hearing Frankenberry? Oh no, Acer Yogi. Oh man, I'm absolutely giga triggered with the attitude that Joe Manchin has displayed. His contempt for the working class. His contempt for making this place better. His contempt for the environment. His contempt for the planet. His contempt for seniors. Kids. Working families. Is just unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. Yesterday I spent a good time molding mostly about it. And to be honest, I didn't really provide much of an out, except figure out ways of pressuring him. But that wasn't really... That was very vague of me. That was very vague of me and wasn't really proposing like a solution, really. However, this seems to be a solution that is being implemented that may be effective, I think. If you're in West Virginia, I highly recommend that you organize. I highly recommend that you maybe get in touch with some of these folks who are organizing on the ground. And if you're in West Virginia, please continuously contact your Senator, Joe Manchin, and let him know how you feel. Make petitions, organize, and join up with these folks who are doing the on-the-ground work in an attempt to put pressure on Joe Manchin. Yeah, he seems to just hate everybody that's not him. It's just really frustrating because he would be delivering for his constituency should he understand that this is actually a pretty good way of implementing economic stimulus. And it's just disheartening that his interest, his self-interest, and his and the interest of his donors are above the interest of the country. His personal interest, his personal stake in coal, his personal his donors' stake in oil and gas take precedent. Don't you love how they promote job creation, and it's not until the media says figures that you see, it's only a handful of jobs that are actually being created? What do you mean? This is a great jobs program. They're talking probably by specifically on West Virginia, but the Build Back Better has the potential to create a lot of jobs, especially when it comes to revamping our infrastructure, providing clean energy. Somebody's got to build that. Somebody's got to maintain that. But he wants the coal mining command, political founders, more. Exactly. That's the problem here. And I just can't get this this meme. The memes write themselves. He is head of the Energy Committee. He's head of the Energy Committee. I wish they would play the ad.
I have 2 daughters, and I don't think I'll stay here.
My son, he was a welder, and he actually had to travel 2 hours from here just to have a decent pay.
One of my own children.
Oh,
even
not
moved
so
to
much
a-
about
to
for this
a big
project.
city,
Gotcha.
You know, out of West Virginia because her and her husband felt like they couldn't survive here. In the last 5 years, West Virginia's seen 60,000 people leave the state. Joe Manchin, we need permanent long-term jobs. This whole state is depending on him to do something right.
True. True. It's incredibly frustrating how it takes all of this just to move forward in basic baby steps in this country. It is incredibly frustrating. Something so basic. The most basic of basic baby steps to move forward in this country. Thanks for the follow, Nash Milk. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but so yeah, before we head out, folks, I do need, because again, I think I need an extra set of eyes here. That study that our friend posted there earlier, I think it's this one, isn't it? Hold on. Because I want to be very clear when it comes to this. This study here, and there's a handful, there's over a dozen of you here. Can somebody tell me where I went wrong in the analysis of that study? So, from what I understand, the study that's being presented in chat, and I'll post it again, the study that's being presented in chat is trying to make the point that it hasn't been, the Pfizer vaccine hasn't been fully studied. However, when you actually look at the study, it is talking about phase 1, 2, and 3 have been have been completed when it comes to the 2 doses which were approved from the FDA for the Pfizer BioNTech vaccine. Can somebody please look at that and tell me if that is the correct assessment from looking at this? What do they mean by phone banking here? I think that what they mean is by just reaching out to people, just like how you would phone bank for a candidate, except you're phone banking for the Build Back Better agenda, right? Yes, read and rap. Please send it to your friend Homozygote to look at it. He's a PhD in he's working on his PhD in molecular biology. Yes, send it to him, and so that we can get a clear understanding. I appreciate that, and if you want, whisper me the result. What he says about it. Whisper me later when you have the chance, or when your friend, or when your friend looks at it, please, so that I can properly dissect it and make a correction if I need to, expand on it if I need to, retract if I need to. Just make sure that I have all my ducks in a row, you know? Thank you. I really do appreciate that, read and rap too. So yes, Sir Yogi, I think what they mean by phone banking is literally just calling people and making them aware of what the Build Back Better agenda is and why they should pressure Joe Manchin to support this, and to make them aware of what it could do for West Virginia, so on and so forth. I think that's what it is. So yes, the TLDR is that this is the kind of stuff that needs to happen. This type of organizing and direct action needs to be constant. The same thing with Arizona for Madam President Kyrsten Sinema. For Madam President Kyrsten Sinema, the same thing has to happen, where a on-the-ground organization needs to happen and put pressure that way. Please, if you're in Arizona, if you're in West Virginia, get organized and link up with some of these folks who are on the ground doing direct action. please, if you're there, or if you know somebody that's there, make them aware of these things, okay? Make them aware of these things. This is incredibly important, and we are... Yeah, it's a real name. It's a real name. These things are incredibly important, and this is basically the Hail Mary, folks, in my opinion. This is the Hail Mary for any type of climate change any type of climate change legislation to be put on the board. This is it. This is the Hail Mary. Because if things continue the way they are, and I'll leave with this statement, if things continue the way they are, and the Democrats show that they are incapable of addressing basic issues, and they get swept out of office in 2022, and consequently, if that happens, they'll most likely get swept in 2024. They'll lose, and then we have an entire cycle of GOP control, which we know that they don't give a crap about climate change. They think it's a hoax. They don't pay attention to it. The overwhelming majority of GOP politicians do not care about climate change. And then what? Then that's it. That's another 4 years, plus the 4 years here, 8 years that are wasted, and so on and so forth, and the clock keeps ticking down, which is the real problem. When is Manchin up for re-election? I'm not sure. His current term ends in 2025. Alright folks, unfortunately that is all the time I have today. I do want to appreciate all of you guys hanging out here with me. Thank you so much for all the support that you've given. Thank you so much for the subs, the gifted subs, all the follows. I'm sorry, Alio, don't worry, we'll get you the cute animal video first thing tomorrow. I appreciate that, and I'm sorry I missed that. I want to thank everybody for hanging out here. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya! Same. Alright. Let's head on over to... Dan Simpson. Alright folks, hang tight with us. Please go show Dan Simpson some love. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.